Well, I have an inspiring story today from Omar, who's just finished a 21-day reboot program for his gut health. And I'm so happy to celebrate him. He's done marvelous. I'm so excited. And I've got a couple of questions for you, Omar. Thank you so much for doing this. And I know this is going to help other people too. So tell me, what was life like before you started the 21-day gut health program, reboot program?
Well, Doreen, I would say my life before was one of constant tiredness, sluggish, a lot of pain. Um, the kind of overweight where you're not happy with your size is what I will say. And every time I would try and get more active to shift that weight, the recovery was long, and so there wasn't any recovery. There wasn't really any progress there. It was one of broken sleep. It was one of anxious bowels, IBS-like symptoms. It wasn't a healthy gut that I had. And before I would have lived with it, is what I would have said. And if it wasn't for my mum coming onto the program, seeing how that impacted her, hearing her story, hearing how she was improved in so many different areas, and realistically, her just saying, you know what, you don't have to live like how you're living, like you're complaining about the things I've just listed, take some action. And yeah, seeing how it impacted her, how great she looked, felt, how she spoke about the program. I said, you know what, there's not much to lose here. If it's less than a month, I can do 21 days, whatever it is. And if it works, I'll keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then it'll be like every other thing I've tried that hasn't worked, and I'll just drop it and then find another way to, manage my symptoms. And so since then, I definitely look at my life before with a bit of wonderment as to why I went on like that for so long. And it's funny because if I was talking to myself a month ago about how I felt and what life was like, he would have said it was fine and would have
Mm.
just kind of just, like I said, carried on living like that. But I'm not him anymore. So that's how things have changed since.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for that. So my next question is, did you have any reservations about doing it? Do you think it would work? Are you glad that you did it?
Oh, yeah. I will start with the questions in reverse order. So, am I glad I did it? Yes, because it worked. And so my reservations are, and I'll be honest, food and eating food was a hobby for me. I would eat in the car, I would eat at my desk, I would have my regular meals, I would look forward to having breakfast, I would be thinking about dinner. Um, Mentally, food was on my mind, right? If you chopped up my brain, one part of it would have been thinking about food, and everything else would have fit around it. And so when I got the program, I will admit that second week I went to bed upset I wasn't gonna have breakfast in the morning. And funnily enough, when breakfast came and I had, on my program, I had a shake. I did not miss breakfast. I didn't think about I wasn't scared about lunch, I wasn't I would admit I was still looking forward to dinner. But I wasn't thinking of it in the same way that I was before. Um, for me, going into the program, I had some apprehensions because a lot of my favorite foods were being cut out. Date night was a dinner with my wife. I uh, thought it was an excuse, really, even though I was eating badly, to go, I could eat even worse. And so I was a little bit apprehensive that we might not be able to find things that we could share or eat, but that was an unfound worry. 5 minutes of searching on either Just Eat or actually what we did was we on our first week we cooked together. So I had 2 weeks really to find a safe takeaway, as it were. Um, and even then, like it was perfectly fine. We had a Nando's. I got some grilled chicken, and I got broccoli, and I got olives, and just it was a very normal meal. I didn't feel like I was on a diet. Um, and again, even I cut out potatoes, cut out breads. Again, I think potato is probably the greatest vegetable ever. I think bread is probably one of mankind's best creations. Didn't have any of it, didn't miss it. And so for me, very quickly into the program, I said, I could keep living like this. I could keep doing this. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep going on it, even though I'm not on a program, even though I won't be held accountable, as it were, necessarily. There is a group which is everyone's really nice in. I didn't get involved, but it was great to see them. The kind of going back over to why it worked, what I found was that because people saw me taking action on my health, they were willing to engage with me in conversations about health in a different way. So one of my colleagues is a fitness coach. We managed to talk about fitness in a much more constructive way. I realized that she wasn't necessarily worried about talking about fitness in the way that big old me would react badly to. We talked about, protein intake, and I'm like, I've never had a conversation about protein intake before. I didn't even know what protein did before. I just knew it was something to do with your muscles and repairing. But and again, finding people around you that when you talk about walking, they have a very different conversation and mindset on walking. Whereas for me, it was very much functional to get somewhere. Now I was going on a walk to, yes, get my half an hour in, get my steps in, steps up, but also just to enjoy the scenery around me. I didn't have to get a bus or didn't have to drive somewhere. I could walk. And so for those of you who might be based in London, Monday I was in King's Cross, and what I usually do is get the train. Now I just looked on the map and it says, oh, it's a 15-minute walk, and I walked it, and it didn't mean anything. It was just a walk. And so yeah, a lot has changed for me. Program works. Super happy with how things are now.
Excellent, excellent. And would you like to share with everyone one of the comments people have been making about the results? What have they been saying to you about probably the way you look, talk? What have they been saying?
Well, the most recent comment is that there's more bounce in how I'm speaking, and I definitely have to agree with that. How I think about things is different, a lot more positive, and I thought I was positive before. I thought I had, pretty good, mental approach to things, but now definitely a lot more, I'd say, laid back is probably the best way to describe it. Work stresses, which I would or react to with comfort eating or stress eating, I don't do anymore. And so there are obviously comments now about my weight and how much better I carry myself, how much better my clothes fit. My skin is a lot better. Overall, really, there's yeah, big differences. Even as my body's adjusted to the program, and where the big losses I made in the first week have come back as my body's adjusted, most likely. I'm not the same shape as I was at the same weight, and so that has been a big change for me, where I fit better into everything, and now I can seriously consider going clothes shopping and getting a size down, rather than going, oh, you know what, maybe in the summertime, there's faraway goals. You go, oh, maybe I'll lose weight, and then, but no, now I can just go, oh, you know what, actually, my trousers are a bit baggy now. The belt, if I just get a size down, I can probably just wear trousers without the belt. That's the sort of thing that's gone really well for me. So people have said lots of great things, lots of compliments. Genuinely too many to list, which is a strange thing for a man. Men don't get many compliments, and when they do, they stick with you. But genuinely, in the last month, I've got so many different comments that I'm starting to forget what they were. But I remember the people who said them, so yeah, so I will say that much. But yeah, no, lots of good things.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. So, thank you for sharing, Omar. It's been a pleasure and a joy serving, working with you. And what I'd like everyone to do now, whoever's watching, to put heart emojis, write little comments, congratulating Omar, and that would be really great. And also, if anyone's interested to have the very similar, same, or more results than Omar, contact me directly and I can help you to get your goals and your dreams ready for whatever you want to do and have those changes. Again, thank you, Omar, and thank you all for listening. Take care now.
Thank you.